Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It is absolutely flying in here already in the chat. We must be buzzing, and yes, everyone is buzzing at the moment with Aston Villa. We are giving you our full match reaction to Aston Villa 4, Nottingham Forest 2. And not only was it almost a perfect weekend for Villa in terms of the result, but also other results going for us. Fulham doing us a huge favour and making us go 8 points clear of Manchester United at the moment. So we're going to get into all of that, get into your comments in the chat, get the thoughts of the boys in terms of some of the player performances, and what we need to look forward to over the coming weeks, and what is in store for Villa over the next few weeks. First of all, though, we have smashed past 3,400 subscribers, so thank you all for your support. Do keep supporting us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you do want to become a member, the link is at the top of the chat. Click the link and follow the instructions. Just $1.99 a month. And if you want any super chats to donate to the channel to help support us, do click the $ at the bottom. I've got to get into the comments first, boys. There are over 30 comments already, so let me just get in and say hello to everyone. John, good evening from Torquay. Good evening to you. Jim is good evening from Reading. Michael, good evening to you. Deontay, happy Sunday, everyone. Duncan as well, good evening to you. Rich, yo, party people. It is a party in this house at the moment. Who else have we got in? Adamski is in the house as well. Luiz, good evening, mate. I said Villa would win 6-0. I was wrong, but there were 6 goals in the game. Yes, what a game it was. Up the Villa, says Michelle. Who else is here? Willie's is here as well. Good evening. What a weekend. Up the Villa. Kevin, you're 100% correct. Have you said anything yet?
It's just preempting it, isn't it?
Yeah. Gary as well. Happy Magic Villa, he says. Duncan says we'll be at 4,000 by the end of the season. I hope so, mate. And you have given us some great support as well, mate. Thank you so much. Charlie, good evening to you. C to Stain 1. Cheers, lads. Up the Villa. David as well. Hi, mate. Great to have you involved. Ricky says Bailey, them skills. Yes, we will talk about him. Good evening as well. Up the Villa. Rich saying smash the likes, people, support the channel and spread that love. Alex, greetings from Miami. Great to have you on board, mate. I bet the weather is good over there as well. Great win and thanks to Fulham and Spengden as well. Here, heard there is a new Bailey sauce around. Yes, very spicy. Very spicy. Ross, good evening, guys. Need to know what happened with Pau. Yes, and we will talk about that as well. So yeah, keep your comments coming in. We are going to talk generally about the game yesterday, generally about some of the things about Villa, focus on some of the players, and then maybe talk about one or two things that we might need to be slightly not concerned about, but just being aware of. But first of all, Kev, you were at the game yesterday. First of all, how are you doing, and what a day it was at Villa Park yesterday?
I'm good, Rich. Always good to share a Sunday night with everyone watching, and obviously with you fellas as well. So yeah, all good. My lad also, one of the comments said this about 6-0. My lad said it was going to be 6-0. And when we were 3-0 up after about 40 minutes, I thought we might be on for this. But yeah, really good, really great to get back-to-back wins as well. I think that calms a few nerves, and obviously the results certainly went our way. It was one of those if Carlsberg did weekends, wasn't it? Blues losing as well, So there you go.
Exactly, mate. Fantastic. And Martin, great to have you back. There was people asking about you in the chat. Where's Martin? They were saying, well, mate, you're here now. What a victory it was yesterday.
Absolutely. What a victory, and thanks everyone for your concern. Don't worry, I'm alive and well. I haven't gone anywhere just yet. But clearly, you all want your viewer retention, so I have to come in and give them to you. And of course, other fixtures going our way. I even said to me mates here, will you go to the butcher's and get us a full ham for Man United for dinner?
Hey!
It was all good and all banter because my mates were giving to me for weeks because Villa were in bad form. So as soon as Fulham got a win, I had to get my joke in there, my pun. So
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good stuff. And Lewis said, "Yeah, I did have a great weekend in Manchester. It was made even better by some crying, some crying Manx after that game. But yeah, brilliant, brilliant stuff. So first of all, what I wanted to talk about is where Kev, like, is every goal Villa score going to be like a goal of the month or goal of the season contender? Because like every goal is like a 5 or 10 player passing movement. Like, it's just incredible at the moment.
Hashtag Emery ball. That's all it is, isn't it? Quite simple. I feel in this modern era now, where obviously things get clipped and you only see like bits of like goals. Villa are the ones that are kind of unlucky, really. Like we don't get all the credit we deserve. I mean, I remember when we scored that amazing goal against Arsenal, the McGinn goal, and all you saw from some outlets was just the the last sort of 5 seconds of it. Some of the football was absolutely scintillating that first half. I was thinking before the game, I hope we can have what we were doing under Unai, which was have those fast starts and blow teams off the park. Now, normally when we've been going 2 or 3-0 up in the past, that's kind of been it for the game. But obviously, the Forest made a bit more of a fight of it. But yeah, I mean, just some of the play. I mean, if you watch that goal back again for that first goal, I mean, Bailey's going to get the credit for his super spicy reggae sauce he obviously put on it. Whatever sauce we're talking about for Leon, I'm definitely having so much chips. But everything before it, there was loads of passing around the back. There was McGinn sending someone to the shops and going with the change either way. Great passing behind. Couple of megs, I think Bailey did. And then obviously Watkins is where he needed to be to finish it off. And 4 minutes in, just an absolutely perfect start.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Martin, I'll come to you. Like, it just looks like, I know we had that little bit of a dodgy spell, but even then, the Sheffield United game, we scored some really good goals. It just seems like this is, I guess, is the benefit of generally playing like a settled, I guess, attacking six or seven players, because once, say, McGinn gets on the ball, or once Bailey gets on the ball, or Tielemans gets on the ball, you see Watkins on his bike, like, running in behind. You see Bailey, like, checking to go forward and then cutting back. You see now Moreno and Ramsey working together, and it just looks so like fluid in terms of like the way that they flow and the way that they can pass. Like even that last goal when Tielemans gets it and Watkins is already on the shoulder. It's just amazing to see at the moment how like in tune they are with each other.
Absolutely, and it goes to show. Excuse me. And it goes to show that ever since Emery's come in, like it was always going to take that little bit of a while to kind of get used to the system and what way the lads want to play, and it goes to show the versatility that these players have that can play in different positions, not just Tielemans playing in defensive midfield. He can play in the 10 role. He can play kind of like that false left, false right roles, and same with Bailey. He's playing sort of as the second striker at this minute, who managed to shift out to the right, and it's been absolutely fantastic, and it's so free flowing as well. There's not, the Dean Smiths or the Gerrards where it was kind of taking forever to get a goal, or we're getting a counter attack and we were looking for that killer ball and it just wasn't happening. Where with Emery, we're constantly looking for the killer ball. We're constantly moving. We're shifting teams over. We're looking in, playing behind, looking to get into between the channels, into the holes, and exploiting space everywhere. And it's absolutely fantastic to watch. And like, I've never been so excited as a Villa fan to see this type of football being played, because every time I go to work and I have a Villa jersey on me and the lads are going, Villa, you are doing well this year. You are great to watch. Like, so it goes to show that. And I seen a poll there as well, like who were the most like boring teams to watch. Villa is like the lowest. So therefore, like, it goes to show, not just from a Villa perspective, but from a football fan base perspective, that Aston Villa is really exciting to watch this year.
Yeah, mate, I couldn't have put it better myself. And Kev, 56 goals in the Premier League this season. Just phenomenal entertainment. You see the different ways that we can attack, the different players, like all these stats that are coming through with like, Watkins goal involvements, Leon Bailey's goal involvements, Douglas Luiz now with 10 goals in all competitions. We're a nightmare for any defense to come up against. And so that's the first part. Then the second part is to Nottingham Forest. Really, I was kind of surprised at the way that they approached certainly the first sort of half hour, 40 minutes, because the way that they kind of counteracted us at the City ground, they just completely went out the window with that on Saturday. So I don't quite get what they were trying to do.
Well, yeah, just to take the first few points, mate. Yeah, we are. There's goals galore in this team. It's just absolutely fantastic, which is one of the reasons why when Watkins does have one of his what's the opposite of a purple patch? I don't know what the opposite of purple is on the colour spectrum. Maybe someone can tell me.
Beige maybe.
Yeah, when Watkins has one of his emerald green patches and doesn't score in the past with Villa, if you only out there for goals isn't scoring, you might have struggled, but. Yeah, I mean, I think that's brilliant. I saw the other day, like the 5 players that got 10 plus. Is it 10 plus goal involvement?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant, and it's from all angles. And we've even got the players in the team that you'd think Ramsey usually would be good for a few more goals, still getting back up to speed. Tielemans back in the day used to pop up with a few more than he's got for us. So I think there's even other goal options in the team. We don't get many from corners, do we? From centre backs heading them in. I know obviously Luiz smashed in a header. So, but yeah, I mean, I think there are even potentially more goals in this team, which is staggering. So yeah, that's great. Forest, yeah, I thought they were really poor first half. I mean, obviously that goal just before half time gave them a little bit of impetus into the start of the second half, but I don't know what they were doing. They basically had looked like some bloke they'd pulled off out of a pub in Nottingham at left back against Bailey. I mean, I think he probably would have made. Philip Lahm or, prime Ashley Cole.
He's a centre-back, and a lot of the Forest fans are kind of quite puzzled as to why they didn't start. I know that their normal left-back was injured, but I think they had Toffolo on the bench.
Toffolo, isn't it? Yeah. Or if you're having that much trouble against him, why not put Nico Williams that side? I just think they probably had, he's obviously quite quick, isn't he? So I just think you've got their options, but it absolutely played into our hands. And, I mean, we could have had even more. We could have had even more goals. I think Bailey had a chance. Obviously, Watkins had another chance. So, yeah, I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, recent times we've had some managers who've out-tacticked us a little bit, if that is a word. Almost done a job on Unai. So it was nice to see Unai getting to put one over on someone else. And obviously, it's been so long since we've won at home for Villa. Not for a lot of clubs, but for Villa, we were. I was at a point when I think we said God. Probably post Man City, wasn't it? Obviously, just before the post Arsenal, before the Sheffield United game. But I mean, basically, for nearly for a year, I've been going to Villa Park thinking we're going to win this. We're going to win this. And I didn't go to the Everton Carabao Cup game, so I was like, basically, we're going to win every game forever. All we've got to do is sort the away format. We're going to win the league. And if we had kept that home run going, we'd probably be top of the league.
I know. But yeah, we're still. You never know. No. Let's not go there. I do got to shout out Willie in the chat. He is our newest member, so thank you very much for becoming an official Villa Park pod follower.
Willie Moise.
Yes. What a man. Thank you so much, mate, for your support there. That's brilliant, mate. Loads of comments coming in. I will try and get as many as I can in. So let's have a look where we start. Rich says Watkins, the hottest English striker in the Premier League. Dunk said, man, you couldn't keep blagging wins forever. Absolutely.
100%.
Gary said Liverpool winning the League Cup means we should get Europe in some capacity now. Yeah, it could even go down to 8th position if everything goes right. Rich says also
I think it goes down to 7th. I think it's the same as last year. I think it goes down to 7th.
Yeah, but there's something to do with, like, obviously if it goes to 5th place for the Champions League and then a combination where someone wins the FA Cup, then it could go down to 8th for the Conference League. But we're going for bigger and better than that. Michael said he's been doing the Luiz shimmy all day. Deontay said, as you said, Kev, that was Villa's first win at Villa Park this year, the first of many to come. Dunk saying we're coming into form at the right time. Gary H said, went to the shop as we were cruising at 3-0, come back and it was 3-2 with Torres off, only at the Villa. Yeah, we will get onto that in a bit. Sharik says, told you not to worry about United.
Yes, Sharik.
Adam said, actually rare to see Ollie in that poacher position. Is usually a few feet further back. Yeah, he was really in the box, like really on the shoulder, wasn't he? Michael saying it's first class coaching. I read that before humans had the ability to speak, they communicated by telepath. Seems this Villa team has rediscovered that art, and it's one of those where you're playing with the same players. It does become almost telepathic, like you said. Emery is a genius, says Jason. Rich said we control games now under Emery. We've gone up levels, and Adam says many levels up. absolutely. Goals all over the team, says Rich as well. Emery ball masterclass. Yeah, just brilliant, just brilliant stuff. Nicola said if we beat Luton on Saturday, then beat Spurs the week after, it will put a marker down. I'm feeling confident for the first time in years that we can achieve something special this season. Up the Villa. Willie said, great show, guys. We are playing some great football, but it's still a bit of a worry about the goals we're letting in. Just keep that to one side. I will come to that in a bit. So I wanted to talk, guys, we also have over 100 people watching already, which is brilliant. So if you haven't already, smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. We've passed 3,400 now. I want to keep going up to 4K. So keep with the support of the channel, which has been fantastic so far. Well, basically, I've got quite a few images of players. We could take our pick because certainly, I guess, apart from that kind of 10-15 minute spell, which we will come on to a little bit later, it was pretty much a perfect performance. Martin, I'll give you the floor first. Who do you want to start with?
I think I'd like to start with a bit of the Samba from Sao Paulo. Douglas Luiz grabbing his brace. Like, and I've seen a thing as well that, like, if he had scored a hat trick, he would have been the first Villa player who isn't a striker to score a Premier League hat trick. And that, I really wish that would have happened, because that would have given us some bragging rights. Even it was all over Twitter, you know, when he was doing the little shimmy and everyone was going, "Are you okay now, Rio?" Oh, it was, the banter was flying. And he had an exceptional game. The first goal was brilliant. You know, Ramsey laying it off, just instinctively knew he was there, and a brilliant finish and a bullet header as well. Great ball in by John McGinn, and just getting on the end of it. And I kind of wish we got a penalty somewhere so Douglas Luiz can kind of finish off the hat trick. And, you know, he was exceptional, not even just for his goals, I think for all-round game as well, you know, finding players through the channels, getting them into great positions, finding space for himself to get that pass off, the killer balls through for Bailey. Watkins were just exceptional on the day, and he, for me, I'd probably be a bit of a spoiler here, but for me, he's my man of the match, not just for his 2 goals, but his all-round contribution to the team. And I think if he's missing, you know, it doesn't really tick. But, and there was this old cliche going, is Douglas Luiz good without Kamara? But I think even if you have John McGinn next to him, it's a much better compliment as well, because John McGinn will do the non-stop running, the energy and everything else, which allows Douglas Luiz to just thrive and do what he wants. And that's why he was exceptional on Saturday.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Kev. I mean, you know, we talked a couple of weeks ago about how Kamara not being in the team might affect Douglas Luiz. He's meant to be a more defensive midfielder at the moment to kind of cover for that fact that Kamara's not there. Yet he's in the box more than more than he has been before. Like when Kamara was there, he's 2 goals yesterday. He's just fantastic at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, you know my thoughts, mate. I think he's our best player. You know, when he's on it, I think he's absolutely like. I mean, I know we've got some tremendous players now, and I'm sure Pau Torres and Ollie Watkins and a few others. You know, I love so many players, but I just think from being a bit of a baller, I think he's just got it all, hasn't he, Luiz? He's got it all. And yeah, I mean, I remember that that first season when we were back and he was playing that 6 role, and and we were thinking, oh, what's he all about, Luiz? But really, he's
playing that 6 role. Didn't want to put a tackle in. Yeah. And then after that kind of came back after lockdown and knuckled down for those 10 games, and you thought that's where we thought there is a real player there, and then lost a bit of form. But I mean, this last sort of 18 months has just been unbelievable from him. And is it like 20 goals he's now scored for Villa?
It's
20 Premier League.
Yeah, it's finally put to bed the whole he only plays well when he's not with Alicia Lehman. And he only plays well when Kamara's alongside him. It's finally put those two sort of like myths to bed. I just thought he was tremendous. And yeah, every time we got a free kick, I was thinking, come on, spank one in. It would have been so good for him to get the hat trick. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can say about Luiz. I love him.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Got a shout out Ricky Moole in the chat as well. you are now an official Villa Park Pod follower. Thank you very, very much for becoming a member. 2 members in one night, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It is much, much appreciated. Marine Boy as well says we must tie Dougie down with a new 5-year contract. He is a top player. Villa Samba Brazil said Dougie's from Rio, born and bred. He's not a Paulista. So he's from Rio, mate, not Sao Paulo.
Get your Brazilian geography right.
Good job. We got people from Brazil, viewers from Brazil to keep us.
Thank God we have some Brazilian followers in this chat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like someone saying you're from the north.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie said in his interview, he told his girlfriend that he knew he'd score on Saturday. He did, didn't he? Yeah, he did. So yeah, fantastic. And what can we say about him? He controls that midfield. Just see. I did say this before. Like, Kamara is fantastic, absolutely fantastic player. But I just like the balance in that midfield at the moment. I like the passing and the playmaking of a Douglas Luiz. I like the combativeness of a John McGinn. I like the running with the ball and the territory that Jacob Ramsey can get you, and I like the passing and the creativity that Tielemans can give you. Like, it's a little bit of everything, isn't it? Like, I don't know what you boys think of that.
Yeah, we're not missing Kamara, are we? It sounds crazy. Kamara's, the Rolls-Royce midfielder. We missed him incredibly, obviously, when he got that ridiculous red card at Brentford, and we put it down to the fact that obviously if you think about it, like, it's effectively a similar team to we lost to Man United after being 2-0 up. So, sometimes a team is going to win and sometimes a team is going to lose and all that. But we thought we missed him incredibly and it was going to be terrible. And actually, we've had 2 really good performances. And let's be clear, like Forest had won the last 2 before. We played them at the weekend, and they'd obviously beat us in the reverse fixture. And they were very, very potent in attack. We'd had all sorts of problems with Elanga and Awoniyi and Gibbs-White, etc., etc. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi the other side. And obviously, Fulham are in decent form. Well, as in, they've not been playing terribly lately. They've just beat Man United. So,
yeah,
2 really good wins and 2 really convincing wins. I know 4-2 at home and 2-1 away doesn't feel like it, but both of those games we could have won by 3 or 4 goals. So I just think that the midfield balance looks absolutely spot on at the moment. And let's be clear as well, with Rams going back to fitness, when that team's just been Kamara, Luiz, McGinn, you're gonna try and fit Tielemans in and Ramsey in around these players. That's why the likes of a Zaniolo and a Diaby sometimes are struggling to get into the team. So that's what the squad's for. And actually, you lose Kamara, sure, we don't want to be losing him. We're limited to defensive midfielders, but I think it's proven that we've got with our manager the adaptability to still perform like we've performed the last 2 games.
100%. So I came to Martin before your turn, Kev. Who's the next player on the list to give a little shout out to?
Well, anyone who's not seen this podcast for about a year is tuning in tonight is going to be amazed what I'm about to say. But Salmon Amana, Leon Bailey, what a man, what a baller. What a baller. We must have listened to Shakira, Africa, Waka Waka in the car about 50 times on the way back from the game. We were just singing it at the traffic lights and stuff. He's just magic, isn't he? He's just magic these days. The consistency he's showing now. I mean, that bit of skill to bring it inside and then obviously wait for the guy to kind of like spread his legs, misses, and put it through the gap for Watkins to score was just sublime. I just thought he was great. Again, he popped up with a goal, what we needed, sniffing around in those kind of positions to kind of calm the nerves after we'd conceded those 2 goals. And yeah, he's just playing with such a swagger. Every time he gets the ball now, it feels like, whereas a year ago, I didn't know what was going to happen. Now I expect him to do something. And if he doesn't do something, he invariably keeps the ball and recycles it and we keep it going. He's just brilliant, isn't he, at the moment, Bailey? He's just brilliant. And his goal contributions and all-round game. I mean, we're not loved as well, particularly with, I know obviously he's getting a lot of love from the fans this season. But I don't know if you noticed, when he got subbed off on the Doug Ellis side of the pitch. So he got to walk around the whole perimeter of the pitch, got a full-on like rousing round of applause from all sides of the ground. And I just thought it's just fantastic for him to have that kind of, almost as if it was tactical, like Unai waited for him to a breaking play on that side of the pitch and Bailey was over there. So, yeah, what a guy, what a legend, and a real star of our team there.
He is. I mean, I'll come to you in a sec, Martin. But for me, he's probably the best winger on form in the Premier League at the moment. He.
Anthony, maybe Anthony, Man United.
Oh yeah, sorry, sorry.
Maybe Sancho,
He.
maybe as well, but just easy.
Yeah, he's becoming a real leader for the team. He's very mature in the way that he speaks. Obviously, I love his voice. Like I love that Jamaican, that like the patois. I just love his voice. But yeah, and like the videos that he does for behind the scenes at the club, he went to that kind of Villa kicks in the community thing and talked about kind of how he came up. He's talked about the low socks thing, where he said that it's part of that's how he trains and that's how he feels comfortable. Now he's in his kind of surroundings. He's comfortable in the way that he plays. That's what he's all about. So yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Luiz said he doesn't like it because it's Jamaican, not African. I made the song up, mate. I made the song up, so I'm all right with it. Don't worry about it.
We'd all want to get some geography lessons. I'm saying Douglas
Yeah,
Luiz from Sao
it's
Paulo.
fine.
You're
It's
after
fine.
singing an African song for a
It's just
Jamaican.
because
Jesus.
it just because it fits with the syllables. It's not that deep. It's not that
Yeah.
deep. You don't have to be African to like the song.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal sing it for Kai Havertz. So last time I checked, he was German. So
Yeah, true. Actually.
yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I just think what I think we're probably witnessing one of the biggest turnaround in a player for such a long time with Villa, but probably our most exciting winger since Ashley Young, Tony Daly. I can't think of many others that have been as exciting as Leon Bailey, Martin.
No, absolutely not. Like I know for a while we were all probably behind his back, and obviously, unfortunately, I have to point you out, Kevin. But you obviously weren't his biggest fan. But however, obviously, he's turned over heads now, and that's due down to his performances at the start of the year. We were saying, okay, he's doing all right now, but we'll still have to wait and see. Some people were probably still expecting that drop off from him because he hasn't had a good first 2 years at the club, but now he's flying with all colours, and the role that he's playing in at the minute under Emery, excellent. Goal contributions, all round games. I mean, the assist for the goal as well. Beat your man, nutmegs then the other defender, and Ollie Watkins, all he has to do was just tap it in. Like Happy Gilmore, just give it a little tap, and that was it. Like Leon Bailey is just absolutely fantastic at this minute. And funny enough, when we sub him off, I think we lose that little bit of creativity, I think, because he just gives us that threat of like defenders kind of drop off, like expecting that ball. But when he's on, defenders just can't deal with him at this moment.
Well, that's because he can go both sides. He took a shot with his right foot. He goes inside, like you say, Kev. He plays passes now. He plays passes through to Matty Cash, or he just lays it off. Like they don't know what he's going to do. Ricky said he's so spicy. Rich said he's low socks Bailey. Yeah, absolutely. The nutmeg, says Charlie. Rich said 2 nutmegs in the move for the first goal from Bailey. Yeah. Villa forever, says Chad says don't worry about a thing because we've got Leon Bailey flying down the wing. I like it. Nice one. Yeah, the man dem got skills, says Ricky. Villa Samba Brazil said yes, the balance is key. Skill, hard work, good leadership, great coaching, and moving the ball quickly. Exactly. And other wingers, we've got Tony Morley from Marine Boy, Ray Graydon as well. Weston said Tony Morley and Mark Walters. Mark Walters was my first hero. So yeah, Spengler said the greatest thing about Bailey is his availability this season. Yeah, exactly. Rich said Daly and Walters were fire. Yeah, 100%. And Bear in the Garden says confidence is an essential factor. Swagger Records in the house, Jamaica in the place. Exactly, absolutely. And yeah, Ethan said last player to get you off your feet was Grealish. To be fair, yeah, exactly. Gary said we're all singing the redemption song now for Bailey. Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, Martin, who's next on the list?
I think we'd have to go with Mr. Meatball himself, Sir John McGinn. What an absolute engine of a man. He just doesn't stop. And that captaincy role as well, I just think suits them down to a T. Like you've always see that, with captaincy of some players, it tends to weigh them down. The pressure just gets to them, but he's taking it like a duck to water because he's making sure, like, not even just the players to the upper standards. Like when you see the little mascots, like he's making sure they all got their jackets. Like he's making sure that they're gonna having a good time, and all around as well. Like the stuff that he does in the media, the joke you see on the Twitter. Like he's an exceptional captain at this minute, and I think it wasn't a wrong decision to make him captain, but at the same time, it probably wasn't right to take it off Tyrone Mings. But like, if John McGinn wasn't captain, where would we be now? But like what a performance yesterday! Like a great ball in for Douglas Luiz's goal down that right hand side, and just an absolute menace in midfield. He was breaking it up, giving the ball off lightly, and he could ping a ball to that opposite side. Them diagonals that he was doing, like he was just all over the place. It was like the John McGinn of old, like when the world is covered of like 70% of water, the rest is covered by John McGinn. Like that's how good he was the other day, and that's just an unbelievable. Like he was probably that close to being my man of the match, but for the fact that Douglas Luiz got 2 goals and his all-round game as well, that's what kind of tipped it for me. But John McGinn the other day was just exceptional, and what a captain too.
Yeah. I mean, Kev, you've said it before that when John McGinn plays well, Villa play well, and that's exactly it, isn't it? I mean, loads of people in the chat saying, for £2.5 million we got him for. Puts in crosses now with his right foot, setting up goals with his right foot. The real heartbeat at the side, just absolutely fantastic, isn't he?
Yeah, his all-round quality of his play as well now. He's really. It's almost like he feels like he keeps getting better as he gets older. I know he had that spell, didn't he, under Gerrard about 1.5 2 years ago, and a few of us were saying as McGinn kind of like, has he reached his best now, and are we better to move him on, or should we have taken all that money for Man United we're interested in? But my God, I'm glad we didn't do that. I mean, the goal with his right foot, he put that cross in for Luiz's header.
Yeah.
What I loved about him as well the weekend, Morgan Gibbs-White is a player, right? He's a really good player, right? He's fantastic. He's energetic. He's got energy. He's strong. And McGinn had absolutely the best of him. There were so many times, and it was Gibbs-White against McGinn, and McGinn would twist one way, twist the other way, and come away with the ball, and really looked pretty untroubled by a guy that you'd think would be causing most people havoc in the league. Martin, you're absolutely right. I mean, what a captain. He's just a great guy. When he plays well, we play well. And you can see, I almost think now that this business end of the season, he's stepping up even more now. It's almost like he's really relishing it. And he's having the influence on the team now that he has, obviously, on that Scotland team. And I mean, I know we've got a lot of players to get through, so I won't say too much more. But
I think we'll do one more big focus. I'm gonna give that one, and then we'll do some honourable mentions. But I mean, we could just go through all of them all night, to be honest. There just so many good performances the other day. But David said, Ward-Prowse says McGinn was the hardest player to play against. Rich says, does all the dirty work that you don't see unless at the, I don't know what that is. He's an immense captain, fantastic.
At the Villa, that's the Villa, isn't it?
Oh, right, nice. Oh, yeah, I get him. Ricky said that ass, yeah. I saw someone tweet something about is it the hardest move to get past or something? John McGinn's arse spin or something. I can't remember what it was now, but it was a great tweet. Good. Yeah, Lewis said he's a great captain, a different captain compared to Roy Keane screaming at his players. McGinn just does his thing and people follow. Villa Forever podcast says McGinniesta. Weston said, do you think if we sold McGinn, we'd double our money on him? I'm not too sure. Gary said McGinn, ironically, would be perfect for Man United, but they can actually piss right off. Yeah, exactly. So glad we never sold him, and Chambers in January would be screwed now if he'd gone. Willie said McGinn has always played well for the Villa, but since Emery has come in, he's went up even more levels. But being a fellow Scot, I will always say that. He's just incredible, just such a good player at the moment, and gets goals as well. We don't forget, and assists. So he's always there. He's always there for not just the tackles, but for kind of attacking intent as well. I'm gonna put my player in, and it's a shame old Sam's not here either. but you know,
Mm.
we gave him a
Become a bit of a
little
trend
bit
now when
we gave him
Watkins
a
scored,
little
doesn't it?
bit of stick a couple of weeks ago, but this guy at the moment is in the hottest of hot streaks. Goals, assists, beating players, making runs off the shoulder, just everything that you want in a centre forward at the moment, and that's Mr. Ollie Watkins. And yeah, another goal yesterday. I don't think he'll score an easier opportunity, obviously, but you've got to be in there. But not just that, just the general kind of play. Like I say, just making it so difficult for opponents to get anywhere near him. Um, Kev, what can you say about Ollie Watkins at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, he's just great, isn't he? He's great. He's another goal. I think it says a lot about Watkins. I know he doesn't often score more than one in a game, but I think he would be thinking probably where the form he's in that probably should be scoring more than one in a 4-2 home win against Forest. That's probably the level of his expectation that he's got now in his mind. And he said it himself. He thinks he's going to score every game. He expects to. So the confidence is there. Well, it was great to see him actually taking people on a bit more as well. You can see the confidence is high because he was like, skipping past people, as you say. Yeah, I thought his link play was decent. I thought generally like he's such a threat now. Obviously, the goal, he didn't get the assist. I know you've obviously got a few views on that for the Bailey goal. But
I actually think he should have got it. I've watched it loads of times, and I think he did get his foot around it to try
yeah,
and cut it back.
I love the way that there in that situation, probably the instinct might have been to try and control it and maybe then sort of get it one side of the keeper and then try and slot it in. But the fact he let it run past him, well, I thought was quite a brave thing to do. And, you obviously got his rewards in the end. So, yeah, I mean, and the question now is like, is he going to get 20 in all comps? Well, I think he's going to obliterate. I think he needs one more, doesn't he? Is he going to get 20 in the Premier League? He needs 6 more. So, come on, Luton, let's do this.
Yeah, we had this chat last week, Martin, and we kind of said obviously he was at 13 last weekend, 14 now. Do you think he can get the 20 Premier League goals this season?
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah, like it would be exceptional, and just because at the start of the year, when I said to Sam, if he gets 20 Premier League goals, we want a public apology from you. And if he gets it, Sam will be here, ladies and gentlemen, giving a public apology to all of you and to Ollie Watkins, and he'll get behind his back ever since. So I am hoping he gets 20 Premier League goals, which would be absolutely phenomenal for him, and hopefully he can kick on.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he does that, if he does that, the way he does score his goals, you would say that they will have contributed to a number of victories that will help us to secure Champions League football. So I'm pretty sure Sam will be more than happy to do that. Was there a point? Because I didn't watch. I didn't watch all of the game, as you know, I was away for the weekend. But there was a point in the chat, Kev, where a lot of people were getting worried that Watkins was injured.
Yeah,
Was
he went
he
down.
down for a while?
First half, he went down and he looked like he was in pain. And I was thinking, oh my days, it's Zaniolo for the rest of the season. But he got up and he looked absolutely fine. So whether he was milking it a bit, I don't know. But he looked like he was in a bit of pain. I didn't see exactly what happened, but it's probably one of those usual situations where the ref just gives nothing. He just gets wiped out every game, it seems, and the ref just gives nothing. But no, all was okay because he obviously played the whole game, didn't he, I think, Watkins?
Yeah. Came off for Rodgers, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but pretty much the whole
90
game.
minutes.
Yeah. Because Luiz said the only reason he won't get 20 is if he gets injured, and that is, he is very, very durable, very, very durable. And then David was asking, would there be a stupid bid for him? I wouldn't be surprised if in the summer there isn't some bids for him because he is a hot property player. And obviously, I think if we can manage to get into Champions League, I think that strengthens our hand even more. But there's obviously the Euros as well. If he has a good Euros, then there's a potential there as well. Few honourable mentions. I don't want to go through too many players, but Villa Samba Brazil says how solid was Cash yesterday. Positional play 100% improved. Rich saying Ramsey looking better each game he plays, making those runs, picking up space in the first half. Yeah, and Yuri Tielemans again, Kate, you wanted to mention him as well. But yeah, 3 players there: Cash, Tielemans, Ramsey, all looking good as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Cash was too great for their second goal. But,
No, that's one thing. Yeah.
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 But I would say I think he's come under a bit of stick. I thought the last 2 games, I think he's been really good. I think we can really fault him, to be honest. Tielemans, I mean, at one point in the game on Saturday, I was watching Tielemans. He was basically playing right back at one point. Obviously, that's just goes to show that the Emery style of play, obviously where the positions had changed on the pitch. And I remember thinking, my God, look at Yuri back there. But, all of a sudden, a few seconds later, he's kind of got back into his position. I just think he's, when he's on it as well, he got a really good round of applause when he came off the pitch as well, Tielemans. And yeah, I think he's a real class act. Who was the one you said? It was Stowe Manning. Said some Martin.
Tielemans, Ramsey, and Cash.
Ramsey. Yeah, I think someone said in the comments say he needs a goal. He really does. I mean, I think it feels like he's getting higher and higher with his shots, but he needs a goal because I do think he's the kind of player that could go on a purple patch. By the way, I checked it. I meant to say yellow's opposite of purple on the colour wheel. So
I think someone in the chat said that as well.
Yeah. If anyone's in a dry run in front of goal, it's yellow patch. But I think he's the kind of player that could go on a run of getting a goal here and there. Once his confidence up, taking a few more players on. Let me throw in there as well, please, Callum Chambers, because he comes into this game. We've just conceded a goal. Yeah, they then get a goal literally just after he comes on, and he must be thinking, crikey, or words to the effect of that, choice language. I thought he actually did all right. I mean, he looked a bit nervy in the ball at times, but went on a couple of marauding runs, and I think he kept, moved the ball around pretty well. I was thinking the warm-up, he looks pretty nimble still.
He's good with the ball. He's just not the quickest.
But for us to be, and also to say as well, like his partner in defence, Longley, 5th and 6th choice centre halves. People talk about injury records of other teams. 5th and 6th choice centre halves. I mean, who would Man City be playing in defence if they had the 5th and 6th choice? I don't even know who that'd be. So massive credit, and against that level of attack that I made them all earlier, we were largely untroubled. It was a good ball for their second goal, to be fair, and it was anyone could score that kind of. That first goal, header back from a corner. I wasn't defending great, but I thought they both did really well, considering the fact that you'd expect a Mings, a Konza, a Pau Torres, and a Diego Carlos to be ahead of them. So, yeah, big credit to those guys, basically, from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a game with that's a 4-2 entertaining game like that in the Premier League and not have a high proportion of players. Not playing well, Martin. Like I say, we could go through the whole team and talk about them and give them real platitudes because it was a game like that. You win 4-2, you're going to have situations where most of the players are going to have a really good performance, and that's how it's transpired. Kev's shouted out Longley, Chambers, Cash, Tielemans, Ramsey, as well as the other players that we've got. But it's just fantastic to have that number of players playing so well.
Absolutely, and I think I kind of want to give Morgan Rogers a bit of a shout. I thought he had a really good cameo, and he probably could have had a goal in the end, but it was just a bit unfortunate. The defender just got a foot to it, which looked like it was going in. But if hopefully Morgan Rogers can get more minutes under his belt in the next few weeks and really kick on for himself, and it just goes to show the squad depth and the quality is there that we can bring on a Diaby, Morgan Rogers, despite they only had about 5 or 10 minutes, but they still had good cameos. So it goes to show that the quality and depth is really good at Villa at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. So just before we talk, a couple of things that I want to maybe bring up might be things to potential, not a cause for concern. That's the wrong phrase, but just some things to be aware of, guys. We have over 130 people watching, which is just tremendous stuff. Please do hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well. And if you like what you see, you want to support the channel further, like Willie and Ricky have done tonight, please do become a member. Click the join button or the link at the top of the chat, and just $1.99 a month, and you can become an official Villa Pod follower. So, Kev, just a couple of bits to Gary, word up for cameo. I love it.
Very good. Martin, did you get that joke? It's a bit before your time, that.
Yeah, it's a bit before his time.
American funk band did a song called Word Up, basically. Yeah, cool cameo. Very good. Very good.
It's Sunday evening, lads. Forgive me.
Yeah. But yeah, one or two bits just to be aware of. The set pieces, Kev. The set pieces. Are we conceding a few too many off these? Is it? And I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was thinking we obviously we're in a situation where we're kind of playing a makeshift back four, which is fine because we've got a set system on the ball, but off the ball in terms of these set pieces, that's where you can come unstuck a little bit. And I was thinking, like, where's the areas where we're missing Tyrone Mings? And these are the big areas where we're missing him. Like you think about that beacon in the box who's going to clear every header, win every header, and that's what we're missing at the moment. And you think it's just a little bit concerning these set piece goals that we're conceding.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Diego Carlos is obviously good at sticking his head on stuff and clearing out. So I think that's where there probably is a bit of a concern. If we have an opportunity to play with the ball, I think Longley and Torres are pretty good. I think they're pretty strong as well. But if you're up against a Les Ferdinand, Alan Shearer type attack, which I don't think there's too many of those, but I don't know, potentially Luton get to a point where Doughty's putting crosses in the box and they've got Adebayo up there and Morris up there, then would you possibly be a bit worried? I'd like to see the stats on our set pieces because what it feels like to me is we've been quite creative with some of our set pieces this season, and we've given credit to Austin McPhee. But it feels like at the moment, like we're not beating the first man with our attacking set pieces too much. We don't look like massively scoring from our attacking set pieces much. And it looks like we're going to concede from our defensive set pieces. So I know he's kind of clung on from the Gerrard days and before that. But yeah, something's got to change, I think, with that because I think it leaves us a bit open. Let's be clear, Forest had a good chance to go 3-3. And there was a point. There was a point when I did think when we were 3-0 up. I remember looking at Nuno a few years ago as Wolves manager when we were 2-0 up, and we know how that game ended, 3-2 at the end. With that deflected free kick. And I remember thinking, we're 3 up. When they got 2 back, I thought this is going to happen all over again. And Nuno's going to be like, all the Wolves fans at work are going to be giving me grief about it. But and let's be clear, that first goal, I mean, it can happen to anybody, but it wasn't brilliant defending, was it?
No. Like Newcastle, we conceded a couple of set pieces. I don't know. Was it Chelsea? Did we concede off a set piece? Oh no, it was an amazing free kick. Yeah, obviously Forest we've conceded. So there's just been a couple of times where we've looked a little bit all at sea on corners, and it's I mean a few in the chat saying poor defending set pieces, says Ricky, a little bit lightweight. Villa Forever podcast Chad says we get complacent, couldn't concentrate, we missed Tyrone Mings leadership and communication skills. I agree. Rich saying we missed Consa, Carlos and Mings, big time, zero aggression with our defence. And I do understand we've got different players in there, but it is a little bit of a concern. Martin, is it a situation as well? We've got a few people asking in the chat as well, where with regards to Pau Torres, is this a slight worry with him? Like a few people asking, what's the situation with him? We're hearing it's a muscle strain or a slight muscle. He felt it in his leg, not linked to his previous injury. Is this a little bit of a concern? Do you think it's just a precaution that he got taken off?
I think it's probably just a precaution that he got taken off because it didn't look like he kind of went down, because if he had gone down and said that like he was gone, then I would be worried in that sense because he would be getting treatment, then getting taken off there and then. But he seemed to play on relatively well enough, and I think Emery kind of said, look, I take you off as a precautionary because we've got 2 very big games coming up in Luton away next week and then Tottenham Hotspur the following week in Villa Park. So I think that for him to take him off as a precautionary and just to have Chambers on to see out the game, I think was the right decision to make, because you want your best players to be fit for these next 2 big games coming up, which could decide our season, as the old cliche goes. So I think for me, it's precautionary, and I think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Kev, any word on Pau? And I mean, a couple of people saying in the chat, we can't have another injury into the back line. We're pretty much running on empty, as Nick says there.
Yeah, I think they're getting Courtney Horse's registration papers to make a case to the Premier League to get him registered. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Apparently, he's going for a scan, isn't he, Torres? But I don't know. Maybe it's a slight tweak. But if it is that he can't play, then it's Chambers a long way. I was actually thinking when Chambers came on, what would happen next? I think the only option you'd have would probably to play Cash centre half and put Kessel Hayden on, maybe. I don't know what else
one
you'd
of
do.
the young. You'd have to recall like Feeney or something back from
Royal Union.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
or
It's so
in,
difficult. I mean,
Tim back there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Conser, I don't think it'll be too far away. I think they'll probably be earmarking Conser for Tottenham game, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, Zaniolo's not done much up top, has he? So maybe you can stick him back there.
Dion Dublin used to play both positions.
Yeah, Chris Sutton as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're bearing the guy said if there were no centre backs fit, who would fill those positions? It would be really, 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 really concerning. And then the last bit, the last one I wanted to just talk on is obviously we are really gunning for Champions League, and now we've opened up 5-point gap on Tottenham. Obviously, they've got a game in hand, 8 points gap on Man United, and arguably we're potentially looking up instead of looking behind us now. And it's amazing how things change in football. But my only slight situation here is clean sheets. Like we haven't really. Sheffield United, obviously, we won 5-0, but is that a little thing, or is that all linked to the fact of the defensive, changes that we're having to make, or is that potentially something where it might trip us up with the potential lack of clean sheets?
I think, don't get me wrong, I think we all love a clean sheet. It gives you that just that insurance that you get the 3 points, and it's good for the goalkeeper's confidence that they get them as well. But I think at the same time, if we're still winning games and we might not keep a clean sheet just from a lack of concentration, but we still had a good all-round defensive performance, then I'm not too worried. But I think you're right. There's been a lot of games that we've conceded quite a good bit of goals because we were too open, or one player didn't concentrate in the line. Hence, Matty Cash yesterday when Morgan Gibbs-White got his goal. So it is a slight concern, but I think at the same time we should be looking ahead than backwards, because if you look at Liverpool, they're kind of going through a bit of an injury dip now at the minute. So like they've kind of hit that. So they might drop points. Man City don't look all too good, but like I said, when it comes to the business end of the season, Man City just won't stop winning. Arsenal, I know they're on form, but Arsenal could be due to drop points because they still have to play. They also have to play each other, and we still have to play them as well. So I'd rather look forward and backwards, because if you're constantly looking backwards, you're not going to concentrate what's in front of you. And if you don't concentrate what's in front of you, you're going to get punished for it in the Premier League because it's so unforgiving. So we need to be concentrating ahead to kind of solidify a Champions League place. Even if fifth is a potential Champions League place, you still want to have that third or fourth area that it gives you that insurance that you have Champions League football for the season.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I guess to notice is that there aren't many teams keeping clean sheets, Kev. Like I know Man City have won the last couple 1-0, but Arsenal.
I've got the stats.
Yeah.
Say
that again, mate.
I've got the stats for you. Arsenal at 10. Weirdly, the second best is Everton with 8, and you wouldn't want to swap positions with Everton, would you?
No.
Liverpool equal 8 as well. Man City 8. Man United and Newcastle 7, and then Villa are actually in 7th spot with 6, and Palace and Fulham have got 6 as well. So it's not as bad as you'd think when you consider the teams. There's teams with less clean sheets than us, like Spurs. I've only had 5. Chelsea 5, West Ham 5, Wolves, everyone's darlings at the moment 5. So yeah, and obviously then the usual suspects below that. So I don't worry about it too much. I tell you as well, like the if you look at the league and look at the goals scored, and obviously the goal difference, Liverpool 38, Man City 33, Arsenal 39, clearly the best 3 teams in the league. And then Villa are clearly the 4th best because we're on 21. Next best is Spurs with 14. Then the positive one is Newcastle with 9 and Brighton with 8. Wolves, Man United are on 0. So, the most important thing for me is we are not quite Newcastle under Kevin Keegan-esque, but we're scoring way more goals than we concede. It would be nice to keep a few more clean sheets, and it was a hallmark of Villa in that crazy season when we had Grealish and Barkley in tandem. Wasn't that the season that Martinez got like 15 clean sheets or something? So
Yeah.
going for the record, going for Friedel's record, but I'd quite happily take fourth and only have 8 clean sheets.
Oh, mate, 56 goals or whatever already by this stage of the season is just incredible. And you definitely take, winning 4-1, 4-2, 3-1s, than kind of trying to grind out a 1-0 all day.
Yeah. Also, just to add to one of those points, if we didn't have the defensive injuries we've got, I'm pretty confident we'd have probably 8 or 9 clean sheets at least. I'm pretty confident we would have. I think actually having as many as we've got with really like our last knock-ins of the squad from centre defence perspective is actually pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we finish up, I will come to some more comments as well. A few, I'll have a look if there's anything that we haven't covered yet. But a little humorous moment on the sideline. I don't know if either of you boys saw this, but Unai Emery going absolutely crazy at the bench. It seemed like Luca Dean was the one who got the brunt of it. But yeah, it was. He's obviously explained it that he was telling them to when they get on the pitch to make sure that they do something that he was asking the players on the pitch to do. So I imagine it was something that maybe Alex Moreno wasn't doing that he wanted the Luca Dean to do. But yeah, it just shows you the standards that or how demanding Unai Emery is of the players. But it was just quite funny, wasn't it, to see Luca Dean going, "What do you want me to do, boss? I'm not on the pitch."
Yeah, I could see it as well. You see, like I'm partially deaf and I generally read lips, and I could see what he was saying. He was kind of going, "What? When? Why? Like, why would I do that? When would I do it?" Like, and I'm there going, like, listen to the full blown conversation. I couldn't see Emery because his head was obviously to the back of me, but I just seen Dinya going, "When? What? Why?" Like with a smile on his face. It was kind of like there was a bit of joke and banter going on with it as well. So like, it was just really funny. And then like when Emery walked off, just seeing Luca Dinya laughing. So obviously it goes to show it was just like a little bit of a banter. There wasn't too much tension on it.
Yeah, I know. It was funny. It was very funny, but it just, yeah, like I say, it just goes to show the standards that Emery's got. Kev, he said already. I think there was like notes in the program about wanting more and wanting to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I know he's again with the media kind of saying, look, we want to secure 7th place first, and if we're in the top 4 with 5 games to go, then that's when they'll talk about it. But he's, the players and him have to be. He wouldn't have those high standards if he wasn't talking about Champions League to the players even now.
No, that is that's the Premier League manager equivalent from like playing football, like 11-a-side football, when you 7-0 up against someone and someone shouts, "It's still 0-0." You're like,
yeah.
It's not 0-0. It's 7-0. We've scored 7 goals. It's still 0-0. Like, he's going to say one thing to the press, and I think the expectations will be sky high. I think they have to be, because he has to make them believe. If that Villa team are thinking, "Oh, well, we've done pretty well. If we can get 7th, then we can fluke a win," they've got to be going into those games, as we've seen against Man City, as we've seen against Arsenal, thinking we can win this. Coming off a pitch against Man United, the mighty, they're going to make top 4, look at them. Man United, bullshit, are they? And coming off a pitch thinking we've outplayed them, and we outplayed them for 1.5 games and got 0 points out of them, and we feel gutted about it because it's them. But, that team now, the expectations will be sky high. They can do something special this season. They can do something special. And Emery, I love the passion. You know what it reminded me of a little bit randomly, but my first season as a holiday rep, 24 years ago, I was on a coach going into Kavos, and the coach pulled up some lights, and there's 2 old Greek blokes arguing at the side of the road, like shouting in each other's faces. And I turned to like the woman in front of the coach who spoke Greek, and I said, "What are you on about? What's happened?" And she went, "They're just talking about the weather. It is raining today." And it's like, I just love that kind of that European passion. It's clearly Emery's just going, "I want you to do this and do this and do this." And Ding is like, "Okay," or whatever he would say. It's like, I love the enthusiasm and the passion that he's got, that every little moment in a game when we're 4-2 up at home and looking like we're going to win it easily, it matters. And he's put that into that team now, that their standards have gone through the roof. And it's not, Chelsea should be coming to Villa Park and wiping the floor with us type attitude from a manager now. We can beat anybody, and I'm here for it. Come on.
Love it. Love it. Paul's saying we can still win the league. I mean, that is confidence for you.
That's
That is
Kevin
a
level
belief.
optimism.
That is belief. Yeah,
They keep
absolutely,
winning, though,
absolutely.
Paul. They keep winning. They keep winning ahead of us. Don't listen. Things annoying me.
I know. It's like we get within like 4 or 5 points, and then they win, and it's just it is just maybe that one step too far. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Lads, I think we'll call it. I think that'll do us for tonight. What a show. Villa in fourth place. I really do think we've turned that corner. Lots of people saying the we're hitting form at the right time, which I think is the right thing to do, right thing to say. We will have bumps in the road. I'm sure we will get 1 or 2 defeats, but we know now with Villa that we bounce back quickly when after a defeat. So it is exciting times, and so many players are playing well. There's players to come back as well. Carlos and Konsa won't be long coming back. John Duran will be back in a few weeks' time as well. So absolutely tremendous. We will be back for later on in the week as well for Talking Tactics with Gareth. I'm sure that'll be a great watch, so make sure you tune in for that. Fans Forum as well next week. Match preview for Luton and any other shows in between, rounding up the latest Villa news. If you haven't already, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. We are over 3,400. We've hit new members tonight as well. So what a night, what a show. Boys, thank you very much as well for joining on the show. Great comments. Have a great week, everyone. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa. Thanks, everyone.